looking at all the writing and noticing everything that your kids can't do. And that's what you would be teaching to. An asset-based model would be, you're looking at your writing, you're noticing all the things they can do, even if they're in 4K, making books. There's a lot of things that the writers are doing. So it's noticing first, what is this kid doing? Because as first graders, man, this would look pretty stunning to a four-year-old. They can do so much more, as opposed to, or in second grade, they can do so much more than they could in kindergarten. But, a fourth grade teacher looking at a second, if you compare it against a fourth grader, may not, you're gonna look, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff. But if you approach it from, wow, if I were having a parent conference, I would want to be talking about all the things these kids can do. Now, here are the next steps. So, this idea about leads, they're writing a story, they're getting it down, but now our next step is, how do we start off the story, that we draw the reader in and give them enough information, and how do authors do this? How do they begin their stories? So we're going to be focusing on making our beginnings even better. So as opposed to giving them the message, this isn't so hot, we're going to learn how to completely redo this. It is, how do we do something better? Because we're all learning to be stronger writers all the time. And then you see the effect of that. So the asset is basically challenging us to see, for every single kid, no matter who they are as a learner, special needs kids or not, what can they do, articulate it, write it down, what are next steps? Because a deficit model is a downward spiral. Because if you're a kid that has a lot of things they have to work on, you're defeated before you can try. But if you have, just like, in making this shift, there's a lot of things you probably feel you don't have control over yet. If all we talked about is all the things that you're not doing, you know what? You wouldn't be too interested for very long in continuing. You'd feel pretty defeated. As opposed to, you know what? I am doing some things really well, and I have some next steps. It changes everything. There's the deficit model is pretty destructive, and it's unfortunately the way our education system has operated for forever.